What's going on, guys? It's your boy Crunch, and today we are back for another evolutions video. Today we're going to go ahead and focus in on Gin Ichimaru. Of course, if you guys don't know how these videos work, the character evolutions, basically we look through the history of Bleach Brave Souls and kind of talk about these characters and talk about specifically about the individual forms that they got in the game, and just, you know, discuss whether they were good, whether they were bad, if they're still good, and yeah, what the future may hold. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Centuries and centuries ago, we got a banner back in March 14th, 2016 to be exact. We got our first ever White Day summons, and in that summons we got characters like Toshiro, we got characters like Grimmjow, Aizen, but one other character that we got that we're obviously talking about today is Gin Ichimaru. This was his first ever form in the game. I'll say this right now, I wasn't playing at the time, I was playing a little later, so I didn't get him the first time around, but from what I can tell, looking at his stats as a 5-star, he kind of like was pretty good. He was pretty good. He was kind of in the middle, you know. I don't think he was top tier, but he was definitely one of those characters that you would want to try. I still believe Speed Grimmjow, the first OG Grimmjow, was a better form, but at the time Gin was a second, maybe like a second or third better best option for the speed attribute. Comparing him now, I guess he could have been kind of like a Kokuto for the speed attribute, but anyways, this character was pretty decent when he first came out, like I just said, but over time as a 6-star he actually ended up getting very nice skills, and he ended up becoming a little bit useful. I feel like this is one form of Gin that just is overlooked and people don't really pay too much attention to, but when you look at his stats and skills and then also his gameplay overall, he's actually a very fun character to use, and you know, at the time when he first came out as a 6-star was actually pretty strong. Her stats are very outdated right now, so he has 949 stamina, 596 attack, 336 defense, 347 focus, and 602 SP, so clearly those stats are very outdated, but his skills are really where it makes up for it. So he has sprinter +1, long reach plus 20%, havoc plus 40%, bruiser plus 20%, and frenzy, so of course double strong attack hits. And the one thing I want you guys to focus in on is the havoc plus 40% and long reach plus 20%. So the increase in his range made him a lot better, because originally his strong attacks just had no range, right, as a 5-star, but as a 6-star they all became kind of decent, right, in the game, alongside with the 12% recharge time that he does get as a soul trait. He ended up being a decent option at the time. Right now he's not all that great, but I am looking forward to him coming out in the future with his resurrection form. I feel like he might be a little decent character to use, a character that you might enjoy, especially if you're a Gin fan, right? One other thing to note is that his special, it doesn't do damage. All it does is it heals the team by 60%. So it's not like anything insane, but it is something that, like, I guess is unique to him. But yeah, this is back in the day when White Day was first announced. It was one of the first ever seasonal banners, and so you guys have to keep in mind that's why he wasn't you know, exactly perfect, but overall he was decent. And yeah, I myself, like I said, can't wait for when he gets his resurrection form. So after we ended up getting our first ever Gin, 3 or so months later, on June 30th, 2016, we ended up getting our second ever Gin, which was his Bankai form. This right here was actually one of the first ever 6-star forms for any character, and yeah, because of that, they were kind of testing the grounds, and he kind of was very underwhelming for, you know, for being the one, like a 6-star character to come into the game. Looking at him, he looks really cool, obviously, like it's Gin in his Bankai form, but yeah, his stats: stamina 1013, attack 619, 331 defense, focus 298, and SP of 647. He has a soul trait which is plus 20% strong attack damage, which is decent, but looking at his skills, this is where they really messed up, and that's because he ended up getting sprinter, long reach plus 10%, bruiser plus 10%, and that was it. So he only has 3 skills, which is, that has to be like the lowest ever in the game, right? And you know, considering he doesn't have like the most insane stats, and he didn't at the time either, these skills were kind of underwhelming and are very underwhelming even still. One thing I do remember about this character though was that his special was very nice and very good. Like it's just a full screen attack and it just does insane damage with poison. So yeah, this Gin obviously has a decent special, but when it comes to, you know, everything else, his gameplay I think he had pretty decent looking strong attacks. It's just that he didn't inflict the damage you would like. So yeah, this was kind of a mess up on Caleb's side, but again, like I've said with many of the other characters, like in my previous character evolutions as well, they can really make it up with just giving them really good skills on the resurrected form, you know, giving him frenzy with a really nice havoc and really good long reach, right, just to increase all the range on everything. Give him of course devastation, because he doesn't even have devastation, just to make his special that much better than it was already. So I don't know, it'd just be cool to get this character in a better resurrected form. It's just, you know, it's Bankai Gin. Like Bankai Gin should definitely be a lot more stronger than what it is, than what he currently is in the game. So after getting the first ever 6-star character in the game and it being Gin, his Bankai form, it was a while before we ended up getting any more Gin action in the game. It was actually mid-July of 2017 when we ended up finally getting another form, and this of course is his heart attribute one, which is his, yeah, one of his most recent forms. And this one was actually really good from the moment he dropped, right? They didn't mess this one up at all from the, like at the start, like they did with his first with his Bankai form. This Gin ended up getting kind of like similar stats as the Bankai form, just obviously updated because they were you know, because he's a lot newer than he was with his Bankai form. He has 630 attack with 692 SP, so clearly an update. His soul trait ended up staying the same at 20% strong attack damage increase, but then again, his skills ended up being a lot better. You know, he went from 3 overall skills to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skills to add on to this form. So kind of funny. I think they kind of like realized that they kind of messed up on the first form, so they ended up making it up on this one. He has Sprinter, Long Reach plus 20%, Havoc plus 20%, Blast Zone, Bruiser plus 20%, Frenzy, and Debilitator. So everything kind of just like helping him out to be a very good character, and he's still a good character up till now. You know, his stats are a little outdated, but his skills are just amazing, right? So they help out a lot. If you look at his strong attacks, they actually look very clean. His second strong attack has an insane amount of range. I think same with his third one. It's just like, it's basically a full screen. So yeah, this form of Gin was just a big time upgrade to the Bankai form of his. And yeah, even still, like I said, he's a very decent character right now. He has Soul Reaper Killer, which is nice. Like that's obviously always a nice thing to have. He's also considered a Soul Reaper, so like he's a Soul Reaper slash captain, so he has Soul Reaper slash captain affiliation, and he's a Soul Reaper killer. He's actually very useful in the Senkaimon quest. I think I've had to use him, yeah, I've had to use him this whole the last 5 months on a specific floor. Without him, I actually wouldn't be able to really, I think I would be able to complete the Senkaimon, but it'd be a lot more difficult. So Gin definitely makes life a lot easier, and like I said, he's still a good character to use now. As a resurrected form, you know, I'm just looking forward to getting updated stats and whatnot. His skills, I wouldn't change much, but you know, you never know. We'll see what Caleb decides to do with him. And next up, we're just gonna go ahead and briefly touch up on Gin Ichimaru's Frenzy reward form, which is basically a form that we all know of as just a soul trait. It's a normal attack damage increase plus stamina recovery in between quests. This isn't anything too crazy, but I do like to actually use them as a soul trait for some of my characters actually. So for example, currently right now, I'm auto farming Inheritance Zone, and I have him linked up to my one-armed Yamamoto, which it helps him out a lot because, you know, you get the increase of normal attack damage. You also get a few stats because, you know, he's a technique attribute, and I have my Yamamoto link slotted. And not only that, but he gets stamina recovery, so Yamamoto's able to heal up in between quests, so it ends up helping out a lot. And it's something I actually like about this character. He's one of like those soul traits that I actually do enjoy using, and it's kind of underrated in my opinion. But yeah, nothing crazy. Gameplay wise, it's not anything special. Stats and skills, yeah, and nothing special at all. Like all of you guys should know this by now. Frenzy characters aren't really anything special, so we're not really gonna focus in on this character. And last but not least, this is his most recent form. It's obviously the Soul Society version, or not Soul Society, but the Spirit Society version. And this came out just a couple of days ago. It was at the end of October towards November, at the start of November of 2018. So quite a while after his last form. It's been at least about a year now. And yeah, so we finally ended up getting a new one. And I will say this right now, this form of Gin is actually so good. I'm still currently in pursuit for him. I can't seem to pull him, and it just doesn't happen. I really want this form of him because, one, he looks amazing. Like, just looking at him, he looks so cool. And two, yeah, he's just so good. So stats: 1052 stamina, attack 636 attack, 359 defense, 341 focus, and 765 SP. So that SP is quite high. It's not the highest in the game, but it's up there, right? And he has skills that like just make him even better than a lot of the characters in the game. So he has Sprinter, Bruiser plus 20%, Devastation plus 40%, Frenzy, and Debilitator. So he does hit hard on his strong attacks. Obviously he has double strong attack hits. He also has a soul trait minus 12%, so that helps out a lot. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the skill that's probably one of the more important ones, which is Medic. So his second strong attack does inflict a heal. So yeah, this form of Gin is super good because he can deal damage. His strong attacks and normal attack string are beautiful, right? There's like a little fox that comes out of his normal attack. So if you use his normal attack at the end of the string, there's a fox that comes out, and like, how cool is that, right? And like I said, he does heal, but not only that, he actually burns through everything else. Everything about him burns except for his second strong attack. So it's just like a lot of things, you know, just working towards him. He also has Soul Reaper Killer. So, you know, that's one of the bigger reasons why I would really like to pull him, just because having a speed Soul Reaper Killer would be nice. I mean, I have Kokuto, but I don't have a ranged one, so having him would be nice. But yeah, anyways, I mean, that's just Gin Ichimaru in a nutshell. Overall in this game, he's been shown some love, but there's been several months, you know, in between, or even a year or so in between the characters, you know, the different forms. So, you know, I would say they like him, they put out forms of him, but they don't go out of their way to like just flood us with like 20 different forms of him, which is nice in a way. That's what makes him kind of nice in this game, because like if you pull him, you get to really enjoy and upgrade and like just make that specific Gin what, you know, a beast, right? I would like to see another form. You know, if I'm being honest, I would like to see a Bankai remake, just to like really do him justice, because, you know, come on, Gin is a powerful character. He's a strong character in all of Bleach. So yeah, I would like to see his remake of Bankai again, but, you know, down the road, not right now. This form of Gin is more than enough for us to enjoy right now. And yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this character. What do you think about Gin overall? Do you think that K-Lab has done a good job on him? I personally do feel like they have. They messed up here and there a little bit, specifically his Bankai form, but, you know, they more than made up for it with the future forms. And also let me know who you would like to see next in one of these videos. You know, the character evolutions videos take a while to make, so obviously you'll have to give me some time. I'm trying to get one a week done for you guys. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys can show me some love and hit the like button on this video. And yeah, anyways, that's all I've got for today, and I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.